Hello and welcome to Whiskey Resource. It is Friday and for my Friday night dram I figured I would do a video because this week a whiskey that I have been waiting for quite a while became available, which is the Glen Scotia Campbeltown Malt Festival release for 2020. So those of you who aren't aware, every year in the Campbeltown whisky region of Scotland, they have a malts festival that takes place around about the week of the 19th of May. I believe I'm right in saying it's usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, kind of within the week. Unfortunately, this year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been cancelled, as to have a lot of other whisky festivals across the country. So for everybody who had tickets or looked forward to going to the festivals, I think a big apology really has to be given for the disruption that's been caused. Now there are a lot of online festivals taking place now through a lot of the whisky community, certainly on YouTube. If you follow many people, such as Aquavite, for example, are doing online whisky tasting festivals, and they're getting reviewers in from the ambassadors, rather, from the different distilleries to talk about the latest releases, and it's good. It's good to see. But anyway, on to the tasting. So the previous years, these are the only ones I've got. So from 2018, we have got the Ruby Port finished Campbeltown. Now these are all non-chill filtered. They are natural colour. They're cask strength as well. So this is what I've got left of this bottle from 2018. So it's a Ruby Port finished whiskey. Spent the last 6 months of its maturation in Ruby Port Casks, and it was bottled at cask strength of 57.8% ABV. And when I tasted this, I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. I believe it was my second whiskey that I tried that was port finished. The one that I tried first, which set me off on the port finishing, was the Glen Quinta Reuben, the 12-year-old. And when I tasted that, I loved it, and I figured I'd try some more port finished. So when I heard about this, I had to get a bottle straight away. And I love this so much that it's in my top 3 favourite whiskies. I tried last year's, which is the Glen Scotia 2019 Campbeltown Malt Festival. It is a 2003 vintage. Sorry, the previous was in 2008 vintage, the Ruby Port. So again, this is cask strength. It is non-chill filtered. It's natural colour. This one is a rum cask finish. And again, I believe this here on the back that it had maturation for 8 months in Demerara rum barrels. So this is what I've got left from last year's. And whilst I don't enjoy this one as much as the Ruby Port finished, it is still very nice. And when I say I don't like it as much, it's literally, if I was to score it, it is a point difference between the two. My preference is for the Ruby, although this is still an outstanding malt. So it's slightly lower ABV, this one. This one sat at 51.3% ABV. I don't intend on doing reviews of those. They may appear as a first Friday of the month special, but I'm not going to generally do reviews. I might do tasting, but I'm not going to do a full-on review like I would do mainstream whiskies. However, this one, which only came the other day, is the Campbeltown 2020 Malt Festival release. It is a 14-year-old Tawny Port finished. Tawny Port tends to be sweeter than Ruby Port. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what's on the back. Very much like the previous two, this is a peated whiskey. It says so much on the box. You can't really see the text with the silver finish there. But this one, again, it's non-chill filtered, it's natural colour, it's bottled at 52.8% ABV, so it's a good 1.5%, yeah, good 1.5% stronger than the younger one, which is aged, oh, it's not younger, sorry, it's 16-year-old. My mistake, yeah, the other one will be a 16-year-old. So this is a 14-year-old. So on the back, it says, this wonderfully peated Glen Scotia single malt was matured in a mixture of American oak hogsheads, medium char American oak barrels, and first fill bourbon barrels. Now, American oak bar char, the charring of the oak, they have a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most charred, 1 being the least charred. So I'd imagine this sits somewhere between maybe a 2 and a 3 on the char level. So first fill bourbon barrels, delivering well balanced peat smoke with fruit and warming spice, demonstrating the character of the Glen Scotia distillery. These casks are vatted together and finished in a Tawny Port for 6 months, bringing notes of blackberry, blackcurrant, raspberry that complements the peat smoke and the distillery character. Now, the distillery character, if you haven't tried a Glen Scotia before, it's glorious. It really is. It's a sea salt, maritime influence there with that peat finish running through it. It's gorgeous. Tawny Port is a fortified wine that has been barrel aged for an average 20 years in barrels, developing a rich amber colour, and is generally sweeter than the younger Ruby Port. So there we go. So once again, it's bottled at 52.8% ABV, and I've been looking forward to trying this for a long time. Well, when I say a long time, since I started to try the Glen Scotias. So what else to say about this? Well, I picked this up for £74.95 from Robbie's Drams on the internet. A lot of retailers don't currently carry this. Master of Malt, for example, I think they may have carried it because their website's currently saying awaiting more soon, as is Robbie's Drams. So it's only just launched. This will be available as well online on a lot of the popular sites. I will be picking up another bottle of this because, well, the other two I haven't been drinking as fast as I would really like to because I didn't get a chance to pick up a second bottle. But this I'm going to hopefully pick up a second bottle of so I can enjoy it. On the label it says it's a blackberry floral notes, ocean sea spray. On the nose, the palate has wonderful silky mouthfeel, the flavours of crisp green apple, peach syrup, vanilla, honey sweetness. There is gentle peat smoke with blackcurrant, raspberry and clove spice notes on the finish. I'll say it's £74.95. If I was to give this a value for money score, it comes out at 95.65. It's a 14-year-old whiskey. It costs £75. It's non-chill filtered. It's natural colour. It's cask strength. To behold, should be glorious. So we're just going to dive straight in there and give this a taste and see how we get on. And I do struggle to go into these bottles, and I haven't prepared on many video by pulling the seal. So there we go. Oh, look at that colour. It's got that pinky tinge to it, that natural tinge that comes from those Tawny Port Casks. So on the nose, straight off, I'm getting that sea spray, that distinctive style. So it's salt, a bit of peat. It's sweet with fruitiness. I'm getting honey as part of that sweetness. Maybe a little bit heather. Wasn't expecting that. And the fruitiness is berries. On the palate. It makes me want to cry. It's so nice. So it starts off with that sea spray, that distinctive Campbeltown flavour, the salt. Then you get the peat starts, and that peat smoke just keeps going through right the way through the finish, and it keeps going. The ABV, whilst it's 52.8%, it's not too hot. You know it's there. You know it's there, but it doesn't present itself too hot. With a bit of vanilla. The fruits are berry fruits, so we're looking at strawberries, raspberries. Yeah, blackcurrants. A bit spicy. So the usual spices that you tend to get: cinnamon, nutmeg, a bit of clove maybe, smoke. Now really this needs to sit and open and breathe, because 14 years in the cask, that's got a lot more to give in the flavour. A lot more. I'm going to drop in a bit of water, and we'll see how it adjusts with the water. I'm going to put in 2 little spoons here. They're only little spoons. We'll see how that develops. With a bit of water in there. So it's it's one of these things, these festivals, that if you ever get the opportunity to go to them. I've not been to the Campbeltown Festival yet. It lands on my wife's birthday, and with the little one, it's quite a difficult thing to attend. But one year we'll go. We'll attend, as I will some of the other festivals. So on the nose, it's still very sea influenced, with that salt. I think it's probably a bit sweeter now, and I'm getting a bit of creaminess on the nose now. But the distinct overriding nose there is that sea, salt, peat, smoke. I'm getting a little bit of apple and pear in there now with those fruits. A bit of cream definitely cream on the palate. It is just a dessert. It's lovely, absolutely adoring. I'm not going to give it an overall score. It is a limited special release, so no scoring here. It will be going on the website and there will be a review, but I don't intend to put any scores on it. I would say though, if you can grab a bottle when it's on release, to do so, because it's a glorious whiskey. How does it compare to the other 2 years? You know, I'm gonna have to drink some more of them to kind of decide where this fits in, but it's as good as the other two. Definitely. They've not dropped anything. So that's it. So have a great Friday, great evening, and Slange var.